Hello everyone and welcome to TIFF TV. I'm Teddy Mitchell of House Photography, and this is getting to know your DSLR. Last week we actually discussed what does DSLR mean, and then we also discussed what the camera is doing when it's capturing the image and when it's not capturing the image. So if you've missed last week, feel free to go back and check out the tutorial on it. Now this week we're going to discuss a little bit of some of the features that are on the camera. So let's dive right into it. Now you have the focusing ring. The focusing ring, what it actually does is it allows you to focus on your subject. So by moving it twisting it to the left or to the right, it allows you to focus on your subject so you can get a sharp image. Your zoom ring allows you to zoom in on the subject and zoom away from the subject. So if you want to get close and intimate with the subject without being right in their face, you can zoom in. But if you want to actually see the surroundings of the subject and where the subject is, you can zoom out. Now, I just want to say this: the built-in flash is for most of the intermediate cameras, or the entry-level cameras, I should say. The entry-level cameras, like this T6i, is a nice entry-level camera, and it has built-in. Most of the professional ones do not, like the 5D and so forth. They do not have like a pop-up flash. But this one has the built-in pop-up flash, and the flash actually allows you to take pictures whenever you want to. It allows you to illuminate the picture whenever you need light and you don't have light in certain areas. Now the flash button is what actually pops up that flash when you need it. So you can shoot it whether it's in daytime and you need a little fill light, or whether it's at night where you need to actually capture your image. You have a microphone. The microphone is what's being used to actually record even what we're doing right now. And then you have the hot shoe. Now the hot shoe is it's interesting because the hot shoe can also be a holder for a microphone, or a holder for a floodlight, or a continuous light, or it can be used for your flash. Now it's an independent flash, like a speed light, that you will put on top, that whenever you press your shutter button, that flash will fire. So that's what the hot shoe actually is for. You have the lug strap, which basically allows you to take your camera, put a strap on it, and put it around your neck, so you don't have to always hold it all the time. Okay. Now the speaker is in different areas. All of the features, even on this camera, will not be on a professional camera, and on a professional camera you would not get these type of features. But some of the features are there, but they're in different areas. Like the speaker on this particular camera that we're viewing right now, the T6i, is on the side. Now this is a 5D Mark II, and the camera, the speaker is here in the back of the camera. Okay, so they do have the same features, but they're in different areas. Now you have the in and output terminal covers, which basically allows you to hook up your HD and your USB, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as we go. It's another diagram that I would like to show you. And then also the lens release button. Now the lens release button, what it does is when pressed, you can twist the lens off of the camera. So when you press this lens release button, you press it and you twist your lens, and that enables you to interchange your lens. So once you put it back, you twist it back, and it locks in place. So the lens can never come off. Okay. Then you have your image stabilizer. Your image stabilizer is there for you as a shooter, because maybe you're just you may be a little bit shaky and stuff like that. So it actually compensates for the shaking that our bodies do, that sometimes we don't get a chance to see. You have the focus switch, which actually is for autofocus, which is AF, or M for manual focus. And this allows you to take control. When you're manual, you can take control over all of the focusing that you would like to do by using the focusing ring and also the zoom. The autofocus actually allows you to focus automatically by halfway pressing the shutter button, and whatever the focus, wherever you're focusing on the subject, it will focus on that subject by halfway pressing the shutter button down. Now, the next one is like the back of the camera. So in the back of the camera, you have your menu button, which actually allows you to set your camera the way you would like it, to customize your camera and to go through all of the features that the camera actually has at the back on the LCD screen. And then you have the information button. The information button is what actually allows you to see like your shutter speed. It allows you to see your f-stops. It allows you to see your ISOs. It allows you to see like even your histogram. And sometimes it allows you to see if you were to zoom from like if you're using a zoom lens like a 70-200, like I just showed you, and you're shooting at like in between, it'll show you that focal point that you're actually shooting at. And then if you are using like any type of metering modes and stuff like that, like if you use spot metering or centimeter metering, all of those type of things, it actually shows all of that information that you can see what your camera is doing, and it records it. Okay, so you have your live view mode, your live view button, and your movie button. Your live view button, which is really good. Sometimes you can really use that to adjust your focusing. If you can't, let's just say you're in a darker room than normal, and you don't, you can see with your physical eye the light, but the camera is not going to see like we see with our physical eye, because our eye is always adjusting to the light. The camera can't adjust like our eye can, not yet at least, but the camera can adjust like our eye can. So what the live view does, it allows you to actually look through the lens, but on the back of the LCD screen, and you're able to zoom in and focus it manually or focus it automatically. If you can really see it, you can focus it a little bit on that subject a lot better, so you can shoot within that type of lighting, that low lighting situation, so you can always have like a sharper image. And then you have the movie button, which allows you to record like what we're doing now. You have your EF lock button, which is automatic exposure, or sometimes they have it as AEL, which is automatic exposure lock on some cameramen in the manuals and stuff like that. And this actually allows you to, in automatic mode, it allows you to automatically keep your exposure, and you can compose your image. But the camera automatically is going to take that metering, exposure metering, and it allows you to actually keep that same exposure that the camera is actually set at, and then you can actually recompose or move to the side or whatever you want to do to actually keep that same exposure for the subject that you're shooting. Now, the FE lock is basically flash exposure. Sometimes also it is called FEL, which is flash exposure lock, and that only it works similar to the AE lock, but only for the flash. So if you have like a flash, like even the built-in flash that's here on this camera, whenever that flash pops up, that's when the FE lock exposure comes in, and you can actually set your exposure for your flash. Now we also have the AF point selection and magnifier button. And the AF lock is what you would the AF point selection would allow you to just do what I said when we were talking earlier about in the viewfinder. So let's say like if you have enough light but you're still not sure on your focusing, well, with that you press the AF button, and as long as your focus is on that subject, it would actually focus automatically for you. So AF is basically automatic focus, and you can use that button on live view mode. It really helps. You can magnify, and that button there also is the magnifying button, so you can magnify up to the person, and you can I think you can zoom up to like 10 times to see the person up and close and make sure that your image is sharp. Okay, so you have the erase button, and need I say more about that? It erases all images. And then you have your playback button. Your playback button allows you to preview the image that you've just taken with your camera. Then you have the cross key and the set button. Now the cross key in the set button allows you to basically check for white balance. As you can see, you have your AF there. You have like if you want to do like continuous shooting, or if you want to put it on if you want to take it and put it on a timer, you use those buttons for that situation. Your quick control button allows you to quickly look through on the back of your LCD screen, and you can kind of see and toggle through excuse me, by using your main dial. You can toggle through and set it through that quick control button, and you can change like your goodness gracious, I'm getting stuck here. But you can change like your f-stops. You could change like your shutter speed. You can change your ISOs. You can even change your file sizes. You can change it from RAW to JPEG, or JPEG and RAW. It depends on however you want. So that's just the quick control. And then you have your aperture and your exposure compensation button. Your exposure, that same button, when pressed, can either change your exposure by using, when holding down, you can change your exposure by using your main dial button that we'll talk about. It will see another, because you can't see it in this diagram, but we'll talk about the main dial. So you can use the main dial button to actually move your the slider to the right or to the left. If you're going to the right, more or less, you want to make the image brighter. You want to expose for it brighter, and then if you're sliding it to the left, you want to actually darken the image. And it also allows for you to stomp down or stomp up if you want to open your aperture wide. And that's what I'm sorry, I didn't say aperture, but for your aperture, if you want to stomp down or stomp up, it allows you to open it as wide as it can go, as 2.8, or some lenses actually even go down to 1.2. And then some, you can go all the way up to 22 and even further for some lenses. So that's the back of the camera. Let's move to understanding some of the terminals and the memory cards that you have. So here you can clearly see the terminals, what we were talking about earlier, where you have the remote control terminal that allows you to actually, whenever you're shooting like maybe night shots or something like that, or time lapse or anything like that, you want to not touch the camera and not cause any shakage or stuff like that, you could use a remote. Or if you just want to actually, I like using remotes for like when I shoot some baby shots and stuff like that, because I can get their attention and they not pay too much to the camera, but they can pay more attention to me, and I can get good images like that. And then you have your AV and your USB connection terminals, and this allows you to connect to like maybe your computer if you're tethering and so forth like that. And then you have your HDMI port. So if you're actually using your camera for video, you can use those and to give you the highest quality video. Then you have your microphone jack. So you can, just like we were talking earlier, if you wanted to put an external jack, external mic, other than using the camera's mic, you can take an external mic and put it on top where the hot shoe is and hook the connector into the microphone jack. So that's just some of the terminals. Now we're going to look at the top. Now here's where we will actually see some of the things that I was talking about, especially like the main dial. So right we'll start off with the AF, area selection button. Now this button, when looking through the viewfinder, you press that down. When looking through the viewfinder, you can actually use the main dial to move your focus selection square to where you want to focus on the subject. So say like, let's just say like if you know that your subject is going to be on the left side and they're moving only on the left, and you want to get also where they're moving from the left to the right and stuff like that, you can actually focus on them by using your selection focus square and focus on that person as they move across screen. They're not centered, and you can see where they're moving to. So you can use those different types of focus points. Some cameras actually have up to 66 to for 45 to 66 focus points, where you can focus on your subject and it can capture the image sharply. Then you have your ISO button, which allows you to adjust your ISOs. Then you have your shutter button, which we all know that once that's actually pressed down, it captures the image. Okay. Then you have your main dial. Your main dial again is what allows you to move through or change your ISOs, or if you were using the AV button in the back, which is your Aperture Priority button in the back, and your exposure button. When you hold that, that's when you would use that main dial to actually move your exposure to the right or to the left. Or if you wanted to use your AV, and if you wanted to have a shallow depth of field to a deep depth of field. So you can use that main dial for those reasons. Then you have your display buttons, and this allows you to see the different modes, the various modes through your viewfinder. So if you don't want to look at the back of your camera all the time, everything when you're looking through your viewfinder. Then you have your off and on button, and that's also connected with your movie switch. So if you want to go straight to switching to movie versus using the back button on the back of the camera to switch to live view or your movie button, you can do it this way. And it also cuts on and off the camera. Then you have your mode dials. Your mode dials, we'll talk about that in a few. And then you have your viewfinder adjustment dial. Now this one is very interesting. A lot of people don't know about it. But let's say like if you're a photographer and you wear glasses and you happen to forget your glasses. Well, this is where this little thing comes in, and it's very nifty, where it actually focuses like almost like the focus ring, but for the viewfinder. So when you don't have your glasses, you can actually adjust it to the way your eyes see things, and then when you look through something, it doesn't look blurry. So that's a really nifty gadget to actually have on the camera. Then you have your Wi-Fi lamp, and this tells you like when your Wi-Fi is connected and when you're sending and so forth. And then you also have your focal plane indicator. Sorry about that. Your focal plane indicator, and that basically is letting you know exactly where inside your sensor sits in the camera. So when you're shooting, that's exactly where your sensor is. So if you look at the focal length, like here, the focal plane, here we have it there. So my sensor is sitting right here in my camera. Okay. Now, here we'll go through the modes. So now you can clearly see that this one is the scene intelligent auto, which is just so much words just to basically say automatic mode. Okay, so this is the automatic mode, and the automatic mode basically does everything for you, from your ISOs, your whole exposure triangle, which is basically that, your ISOs, your shutter speed, and also your f-stop. So it adjusts everything for you, even your exposure and everything, so to get a good picture for you. So this will be really truly for beginners, or maybe even for auntie or grandma or even mom who's who doesn't even, not even a novice, but don't even know about a camera. You put it on that mode and just give it to them and let them just press the shutter release button. Then you have the program mode, which basically allows you to adjust those. So if you use your main dial and you turn your main dial, it adjusts everything. So it adjusts your shutter speed, and it adjusts your f-stops and everything for you. And it's almost similar to automatic, but automatic doesn't allow you to even adjust. It just takes the picture. But program, it allows you to at least adjust. If you want like a shallow depth of field, you can adjust your f-stop, and it'll adjust also your shutter speed and everything else. Okay, so your shutter priority, which is TV mode, basically it only controls the speed of the light that actually enters into your camera. So this mode would be really a good mode if you want to shoot outside. Let's say like if you want to slow down motion in water or something like that. So you would actually use this one to slow down the motion in the water, that you would give that milky feeling and stuff like that in your scene. Your aperture priority is really good for when you want to do like portraiture and you want to actually do like bokeh light, the bokeh lighting, or just basically blurring out a background that is very busy or not so attractive. And it also helps to pop out the person even more. Or if you're doing landscape, if you want to go deep and you want to go like really get a deep depth of field, you can use like your f-stop, f22 or whatever like that, and this would allow you to get everything sharp. Okay, now your manual mode is what you would do for yourself. So if you want to take full control over everything, meaning your f-stop, your shutter speed, your ISOs, you can do all of that, your exposures, everything you can do in manual mode. And this is when you really get your creative style going and what you're looking for, and you control the camera and the camera doesn't control you. So you have full control over everything. And then you have your special screen. That one, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that actually is. But you have the other modes, and these other modes are they're basically your automatic modes, but they give you some help with sports. So let's say like if you're your kid or someone, or you're looking at a sports and anything dealing with sports, and you're at an event, or even like maybe like a concert or something like that, this is the mode that you will actually use, because there's a lot of movement and stuff and you want to capture the movement. Now you have the flower, which actually is for close-up. So if you're doing like micro, or you can even use it. Sometimes I would say that, if I'm telling someone, I would say if you don't know, then you can use that for really close-ups and stuff like that. If you want to do some portraitures and stuff like that, and you want to do it like if somebody's doing makeup, you want to be really close, you can use that one. And then you have landscapes, which allows you to actually get everything from the wide view of seeing your whole landscape. You have portraiture, which also helps, again, where we go back and you can see that there's almost pretty much across from each other. Portraiture will actually give you those depth of fields that you want, where you want to blow out the background, or if you want to actually keep the background. Then you have your creative auto modes and stuff like that. So these ones are pretty much all of the full, that whole range there is just pretty much, it allows you to do some things, but it's still actually operating automatically for you. So these are modes that you can experiment with before you actually go to like your TV or your AV into manual modes. Now you can clearly see, I need not say more, that if you have your flash and you don't want it to pop up or anything, even when it's dark or something like that, you can switch your flash off. Okay, now at the top here, you have where you have your access, your card access light, and that lets you know that your card is in and is operating properly. Then you have your memory card, and this one is a bit different than what you will find in like a professional grade. Most of the professional grades use a SD and a CF card. So this one actually just only has a SD card, and it shows you where it goes, and then you have the card memory door. So with that being said, I hope I've explained a lot. I tried to do my best to break it down as much as I can for some of the features on the camera, but know that all the features that you may see on your camera may not be on another camera, but most of the features that are on the camera, like your mode dial, your main dial, all of those are pretty much in the same area, in the same place, and they work the same way. So I hope you've learned. I hope you have questions. If you have those questions, please make sure that you leave those questions here, that you ask that you make your comments, and that you truly do subscribe, because we really want to make these tutorials for people who really want to take their photography to the next level. So I'm Teddy Mitchner of House Photography. Thank you for watching TIFF TV, and we'll see you soon. Bye.